Hello, everyone, and welcome to All Things M365 Compliance Podcast. My name is Nikki Chappell. I'm a Microsoft MVP and the Principal Cloud Architect at Cloudway, and I love everything Microsoft 365, governance, risk, and compliance. And as always, I'm joined by my co-host, Ryan. Welcome, Ryan.
Thank you very much, Nikki. Yes, I'm Ryan John Murphy, former Microsoft MVP, now at Microsoft as a data security consultant and a data security champion for 2024. And today we're actually joined by Sebastian. Sebastian, welcome.
Hi, thanks for inviting me today to this podcast. I am very glad to be part of this one. And I want to share all the things that I'm doing for the compliance and security community.
Perfect. Yeah, very welcome. Thanks for joining us indeed. So today we're going to talk through some of the business-friendly reports, to use your terminology there, Sebastian. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. As we was discussing previous to this podcast, finally, I've been working on this solution, MPARR, Microsoft Purview Advanced Reach Report, from many years ago, and that is because today compliance have a very good and helpful report for technical guys, but we don't have anything related to business friendly. We were discussing about what's happened if I need to show to C-level users. C-level users are non-IT technical, and I cannot give to them admin right to access to Purview. And inclusive in that case, the report doesn't have the capability to filter by business unit, department, or any other Microsoft Entra attribute. In that order of idea, when I was started building MPARR, I was thinking in all of that. We have the right information about cities, region, business unit to filter the data. When we have companies that are worldwide, it's very difficult to show the right information to the right group. With MPARR, we are trying to show the right information to the right people in the right moment. And that is, in general, MPARR. I start building MPARR because previous to MPARR, with the old AAP labels, we had something called central reporting in the Azure portal. Maybe the most old that was working on AAP labels, remember the old central reporting. Yep. With the old central reporting, I've been working with several customers to create rich report for sensitivity levels. But when the product group decide to start moving to the Microsoft 365 logs, I start searching for different options. And finally, MPARR start appearing. And the big deal with MPARR is we can get all the actions, all the operations that are coming on 365. We are saying that with MPARR today you can collect more than 750 different operations. Wow. I have report for Copilot. I was working in a report to watch the watchers. Finally, the report have sensitive information. With the report, you can see where the data that contains sensitive data is located and doesn't have protection. In that order of idea, I need to know who is viewing this report. And for that reason, I create a report to watch the watchers as an example, because that is sensitive by default. And several different reports that can be helpful. But please, I don't know, we can talk. Ask me.
So these reports that you've created, you've made them available, haven't you, on GitHub? So these are available, freely available for people to build on and use all of the expertise that and reporting that you've created.
Yes, MPARR is a totally open source solution that is available on GitHub. Inclusive is easy to find. I did a very big work And if you use any search engine and you put MPARR, you will find my solution as the first option. With the GitHub page, the YouTube channel. I have a YouTube channel where I explain how to build a report from scratch. And in the same GitHub page, you can see that there is a lot of information about how to use their logs, how to use their report, how to get more data, how to filter the data. Because maybe with this 750, you don't want to get all the activities and you want to get only a few of them. In that order of idea, you can use filters that have the option.
Cool.
So obviously this is all this data that you're pulling out, you're storing it in Azure, in kind of log analytics, or is it in Sentinel? So obviously that's got some sort of cost, isn't it? If you've got all of these kind of log information being stored there and attributes.
Well, the architecture is very interesting. The main today, Microsoft 365 have a hide storage where all the logs are collected. That hide storage is used to collect the Microsoft Entra logs related to Microsoft 365, Microsoft 365, and Microsoft Purview related to Microsoft 365. That hide storage normally is accessed by the Microsoft Purview audit, but you have the current limits related to, well, if you are E3, you can get the past 6 months. If you are E5, you can get the past year. But when you try to export the data, you have several limits to export. I believe that the amount is increasing, but a couple of months ago was 10,000. And 10,000 record is a very small number. When we talk about customers with 50,000, 100,000 of user, 10,000 record is a very small number. Inclusive was, I believe that the product will increase that number to 100,000, but 100,000 is still, bless you, is still a small number when we need to get millions of records. And you need to use PowerShell, paying the results and several things. Then, and the other big deal is today the Microsoft Purview audit is showing a big list of activities, but not all of them. And if you don't know all the activities that exist, you will not be able to find those activities because you don't know that exist. Then we have our Activity Explorer. Activity Explorer only showed the past 30 days. And from these 750 different operations, is showing around 30 only, and end user activities. Advanced Hunting, Sentinel have connectors, and all of them go to the same repo. And the other big deal to get that information is through the Office 365 Management API. And that is what MPARR is using, is getting the data from the Office 365 Management API. And with the version 2, the release 2 of MPARR, we are able to, by default, send to Logs Analytics, or we can send to EventHub. That is the big deal. The EventHub connector added in the version 2 permit to jump from EventHub to Fabric, different kind of databases, blob storage, that permit to grow a lot. And in general, that with some customers would permit to connect to other CM solutions.
Okay.
Now, finally, I will go to your point about Sentinel. Yes, Sentinel uses workspace in Logs Analytics, and we can use the same workspace that Sentinel uses. That permit to give to Sentinel several other information that today is not available. As an example, and maybe someone can correct me in this point, but the last time that I was working on that, and inclusive, I was in Microsoft, working on Microsoft, was received two times the recognition as a most valuable ninja for security and defender. But in that order of idea, Sentinel doesn't show by default the admin activities. we have several information about end users, but we need to know what the admin are doing in our environment. And the other big deal is on Sentinel, we don't have easily all the information from Microsoft Entra to permit to filter the data by business unit, the department, job title, etc. In that case, MPARR have several components, use several APIs, and related from the Microsoft Graph API, we're able to get users, domains, roles, and send that data to Sentinel, or well, to Logs Analytics. We can use Workspace with or without Sentinel, but when we are able to connect to Sentinel, we are able to enrich a lot the report and the data. The other thing that is Sentinel have a specific connector for Purview, connector for communication, connector for insider risk management. That MPARR is it's a big pig that is getting all the information that is available through the API, and is able to get all that and put in Logs Analytics, or as we was explaining previously, we are able to filter the data and maybe only get certain kind of operation. In the same GitHub page, under the support information folder, I need to update that Excel file, but you can find an Excel file with more than 680 different operations that today are available through the tools. I need to update because I know that it's more than today is more than 750, but okay. That's at least 680 is a big number to start viewing different activities. And when this is the most important, I believe, when we talk about operations, always we are thinking normally on Exchange, SharePoint, OneDrive, Teams, the common services. But through this API, we are able to get information from Planner, Automate, Power Apps, Power BI, Stream, Planner, Project, Viva, Dynamics. In that case, is a big solution to get a different kind of information.
So it's really a complete overview of everything that's really happening in your Microsoft 365 tenant. You're pulling in all of those interactions so you can then manipulate it and produce the reports you require.
Yeah, that's true. Right now on the GitHub page, I have some report for the common services, DLP, sensitivity labels, Entra information, but several other reports can be created. For that reason, I have one of this recorded session about how you can build a report from scratch on Power BI.
Oh, cool.
And I explained several teams to get more data that the supposed limits that you can reach on Power BI. I found some ways to get more information that those limits, and I'm sharing all those tips and several things that can be very helpful, inclusive not using MPARR. Every time that you need to build a Power BI report from any place, I am sharing tips and different things that can be used to reach that.
Cool. And that's in your YouTube channel, yes?
Yeah. You can find me on CAC Demos, KAC space demos. You can find me easily. I have two different playlists, one related to MPARR, but the other one is related to recorded session that I am talking about Purview in general, sensitivity labels, DLP, Purview data map, sensitive information types, and more.
Okay. Well, for anybody watching or listening, I will add in the links to Sebastian's YouTube page and also to his GitHub page as well. And any other repositories or URLs, Sebastian, you feel would be beneficial, I could share them in the bio when it comes to either Spotify or YouTube.
No, that's great. I will share with you guys all the links. For me, very happy to to get a more subscriber and people that can follow me on this.
Sure.
I am happy to share and find solutions that can be helpful for anyone.
Perfect. So can we take a look at this then, Sebastian, to see what MPARR is all about, what it gives you, and so on and so forth? I believe you've got some things to share with us today.
Sorry, can you please repeat? For some reason, here is. In some moment, I lost the window where you was located, guys. But
no problem. We essentially just asking, can we take a look at what MPARR looks like in the background? The elements that you wanted to share today?
Yeah, please.
Let's bring your screen up.
Yeah. Quickly, as I mentioned, you can find for MPARR, and all the links that you will find are related to my project.
Perfect.
You can use any search engine. Please test me on that. I did a very deep work on that. And if you use Bing, Google, DuckDuckGo, or anyone, you will find.
Okay, perfect.
In this page, you will find all the information, the architecture that we was discussing, several concepts related to the solution. I have a quick installation guide that permit to install MPARR in less than an hour. This same week, I was training to my team in my current company to learn how to use MPARR. And they take less than an hour using the guide. For me, it take me 5 minutes to start getting the data. It's very easy. That is not a joke. You in less than an hour, you can start getting all the data from your environment and start using the report. As we was discussing, there is several templates available that you can are ready to get and start working. The only thing that you need to do when you open the template is add your workspace ID, and you start getting the information. And well, you can find several data here in the support information. You can find the VCO diagram with the architecture. You can find this list of 682 operations. I need to update, as I mentioned previously. And what's mean, finally, all of this? As an example, the first report that normally I recommend to start using is the Microsoft Entra one. Why? Because if we want to create report based, as an example, on city, country, department, this report permits us to identify how many users doesn't have city, doesn't have a department set, and several other things. On my environment, I have 50,000 dummy accounts. For that reason, it's a big number that you can see.
Wow.
But something interesting here is we can find all the users that are not signed, here as an example, in the last connection. And I can see that I have users with assigned license that never connect. And this permits me to identify easily who have never connect to the environment and recover those licenses.
Yeah.
With this first report, you are able to finally return some funds because you can find licenses that are not in use, that are assigned to users that never connect. But as I mentioned, the most important point is identify the total users that we have, or going to the detailed information, see by the different attributes. Something that is a very, almost all MPARR can be simple configure. There is a lot of JSON files as a configuration files that you can set on true or false. In that order of idea, exists a very big file with all the possible attributes on Microsoft Entra, and you can decide which attribute that you want to sync.
Ah,
Uh,
that's
it's
really
not
good.
required get more than the 100. You can easily only select the attribute that you want to get. Maybe you don't want to get a country, or you don't want to get a city, but you want to get manager or other fields. We can set on through the values that we need to sync, and this one start getting all the information. The other big deal that I give to, I have two Microsoft Entra report. This is the second one that have the Purview roles. Something that is very painful sometimes when we work with Microsoft Purview is Microsoft Purview have their own Purview roles.
Yes.
And those Purview roles, well, a few months ago was added the possibility to set on groups, and you can manage the groups with access package and other ways. But there is other specific roles that cannot be assigned through groups, are assigned directly to the users. And in that order of idea, have that level of detail is difficult because it's not available on Entra. And if you are compliance administrator, but you are using identity management, the PIM solution or access package, you will not be able to see roles and groups under settings. That doesn't appear. But with this report, I can easily go here and view who have those permissions.
Ah,
This
excellent.
one of the script are getting all this information and putting on the report. This is normally this is the first one that when we implement MPARR, is the first one that we start reviewing, because permit to identify about what we can start establish the filters on DLP, sensitivity labels, and several other options. Now, let's go to other report can be more interesting. I have several here. As an example, today we are talking about a lot of Copilot. I have this report to Copilot that permit me, as an example, identify all the documents that are accessed and are not labeled. I can see here all the documents. I can identify my user, but I want to see the documents that are not labeled and see who is accessing. And I can see here that Excel files, Word files, PDF, or where those activities are happening. We can use the map, and we can get several information. Another point of discussion that normally I take with the customer, with the DLP.
Yes, it's a big one.
At least for me, and this is very important, at least for me, today, security is not something related to the tools. Security is something more related to process, procedures, roles, responsibilities, and permissions. We can always see the top workload, the top DLP rule match, the top sensitive information types, the top sensitivity labels, and several. But this changed a lot when you are able to filter, as an example, by business unit.
Yeah.
Because when you are able to filter by business unit, more than review the incident and the alert, you can start building a process to identify what is happening in the legal department and take some actions. And talk with the people and resolve the issue, the root cause of the issue, and not only start running all the day saying, okay, today I have 5 alert, tomorrow I have 10. With this kind of approach, I can take other actions to resolve. Normally, when I do consulting services, something that I discuss with the customer is, from a security data perspective, we can find several common processes but from the security perspective are bad process, but are common process. And we need to identify those common process and take some actions. Have the capability to filter by department, by service, permit me easily to see the problem in another way. I can see, and the other big deal, we was talking about Activity Explorer that show only the past 30 days. With MPARR sending the data to Logs Analytics, we can start easily the data for 2 years and
Wow.
extend inclusive for 12 years.
Oh,
That
wow.
permit to have a timeline that permit to compare queue, see tendencies, identify anomalies. Something that is not common today with the current report is having a view for 30 days doesn't permit to see if the adoption for sensitivity labels is growing or compare or maybe identify some anomalies. I can see an average, but for some reason, maybe that average doesn't match with some activities in the previous month. And I lost that visibility. Through MPARR,
Yeah.
we are able to get all of that. Another to go. This is another that is very important. MIP scanner, formerly called AIP scanner. Today, there is several customers implementing MIP scanner, and Purview doesn't have any report to show that information. On Activity Explorer, you can see the activities from the scanner, but in that Explorer, the new Content Explorer doesn't show the on-premise information. That means all the data that is generating the scanner is lost. There is some ways that you can capture, but this report can easily to show all the activities, all the scan. As an example, if I want to see the label supply, here you can see that finally I am seeing all the label supply over document, and here I have all the path with all the details. And in my environment, I have several scanners, and I can see the activity for each scanner. If I have a scanner in different clusters pointing to different data centers, is easily something that I can filter here and see all the information. Or in this removing the filters, you can see here that the scanner at on-prem discover almost 10,000 files, and more than 9,000 are not labeled. I need to take some actions.
Yeah. This is excellent, by the way, Sebastian. I think one of the biggest drawbacks with the Purview, with the MIP scan, I should say, it is that lack of reporting. And if you can give clarity with just that simple reporting there, and I'm sure there's very, very much hard work in the background, that for me is amazing. That's a massive gap that Microsoft has, which is easily covered by your report.
Yeah, totally agree. And here you can see one related to sensitivity labels. In this one, I am removing the scanner from the report because the scanner normally can generate millions of activities per day. In that order of idea, this one is showing only the activities related to end users. And in this case, inclusive, I can see the file open, who is opening the files, if that contain sensitivity labels, where the file is located. I can filter by sensitivity labels, by domain, by extensions. I have several options. Finally, I can start playing with all these tables that I have, with Microsoft entry information, with Purview information, with the logs, and I can start playing in different ways. And the other one, I need to build in a better way. This is not published yet. I need to improve the look and feel. But we were discussing at the beginning about the watchers.
Yes.
As I mentioned at the beginning, MPARR not only collect the logs related to the common services like SharePoint, Teams, Exchange, cover other services like Stream, Jammer, Power BI, Viva, Dynamics, Copilot. And this report that I'm building permit me to identify who is accessing to the different workspaces and the different report. Because on the report, I am able to see which data is located where, and if that the data is protected or not, and if contain sensitive information types or not.
Wow.
In that case, I need to know who is accessing to that kind of report. And this report to watch the watchers is a big deal.
Yes, for sure.
I believe that we can continue maybe with other topics, but because here I can extend easily for a couple of hours because I have several other reports that are not available. I am working on them, but I have report to show the endpoint DLP activities, file copy to network chart, file copy to USB,
Yeah.
from source to target to identify all of that.
Yeah, that'd be awesome as well, I think. And that I was going to ask. That was I was going to ask two questions. That was one of the questions, right, around the endpoint DLP activity as well. The second one, Sebastian, and this comes up more for me than it does my other compliance TS colleagues here in the UK, is retention label reports of seeing what retention labels have been applied automatically via a SIT and so on and so forth. Where, what repositories are they in? What types of data are we labeling? So on and so forth. Is that something you've got in mind for a report?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me, as an example, in this report, I have other, but this one show the data from Content Explorer.
Right. Okay.
One of the script that I released permit to get the information from a Content Explorer and show in a more friendly way. Because today you're not able to see the total file of OneDrive and how many of the OneDrive files are labeled. You need go to Data Explorer and search for a specific sensitivity label and then see if that is an Exchange, SharePoint, OneDrive. In this case, I am working to get all that information and show the result. And here I have information about retention label supply, sensitivity labels, sensitive information types, and finally, all the data that coming from Data Explorer. I have several workspaces that I need to check, but related to, I am trying to find the one related to endpoint DLP. I need to organize my my environment again. Give me one moment, please.
No worries. Just while you're looking as well, there something else came into mind as one of my favorite subjects is e-discovery and the lack of e-discovery reporting that we've currently got. This would be amazing to find out, what cases you've got open, how long the cases have been open, what custodians are in them, what search queries. I know you can pull some of that information from Sentinel, even around the whole stuff as well. But if somebody goes for this catalog of reporting, Sebastian, it'd be a really, really nice add-on for them.
I don't have a report for e-discovery, but I am totally clear about which are the operations that are collected because in the backend, I was playing with that information in Logs Analytics, and I know that the case related to e-discovery exists, and we are able to create that kind of report. We need to consider that I am working on MPARR on my free time, and I don't have too many free time. I start building with a colleague from Poland that helped me a lot with PowerTool, Greg. We start building this one, the PowerTool to collect the data. But finally, always on free time, maybe having more time the reports can be better and improve, and but the data is there.
Yeah.
MPARR is collecting the data, the e-discovery data, the retention data, is getting that information and putting in logs analytics. From we can create different report. In this case, backing back to the endpoint DLP, you can see file access by an allowed app, and we can see which the path and which is the application that is accessing to the file.
Yeah.
Or file copy to network share. I don't have in this one, but it's easy to identify the target, where the file was copied, or the remote, or copy to cloud.
Yeah.
All that information can be identified, or inclusive. And let me show you, this is why I am saying that we need to see what's the watchers. Because when I have a report, as an example, for Exchange Online, and here I can see that I have some emails with credit card numbers, the logs, and that is to have some afraid, is I can see the matches. I can see the primary element and the surrounding text on the logs. I can find that. If you know enough related to which data is located and where is that nested information, normally it's nested several levels in deep, but if you are able to identify that, you can easily identify that information, inclusive with all the information that I was learning. Yesterday, I was sharing with some colleagues. As an example, on advanced hunting, I was able to create this very long query for advanced hunting to identify DLP rule match that returned me on a specific table with the DLP policy, the DLP rules, the matches, who was on copy, BCC. Finally, I am using the same experience coming from MPARR that permit me to easily start creating more in-depth advanced hunting queries and get several details. But backing back, this is very important. We need to understand the data that is available through the logs. And here we can see another report only for SharePoint and OneDrive. We can filter SharePoint, OneDrive, and see the activities, all of these related to identify credit card numbers, or I can see any other matches. And you will see maybe several names that maybe you know from Microsoft and other places that are helping me in my environment, working with me to test several things.
I think some of this is so useful. One of the things that I find frustrating in things like the Activity Explorer and the Content Explorer is that you've got all of the sensitive information types that Microsoft have got, all of the trainable classifiers. And normally for your business, you're only interested in a subset of them. And I know we just keep asking Microsoft to say, is there a way that we can filter so we get a representative view of what's it like for our business? But you can do that on your reporting. You would be able to say, well, I don't want the New Zealand driving license, which often comes up as one of the top matches. It's
inclusive.
not relevant to filter it all out.
I am opening right now another Power BI report that I don't have on that demo, but is related to Content Explorer. I built one script that permit to do a quick scan. The quick scan only return the big numbers without the details. Because again, we need to show the right information to the right people in the right moment. I don't need to show to C-level users very detailed information about Content Explorer. But maybe for some C-level users, I need to say, okay, we have all this information on OneDrive or SharePoint, and only a few documents are labeled. You asking me, Ryan, for retention labels. Here we have the report, and I can see the total files on SharePoint and how many of those files are retained.
Amazing.
And
that's exactly
you can
what we're looking
easily
for.
get this report in a few minutes. With the current script, we are able to run and get that information in maybe 30 minutes. You will be able to obtain this report. And that is because I am thinking in a first installation and first deploy. And for that reason, I am saying 30 minutes. But after you have all of this running well, you can maintain this data up to date. Inclusive the Content Explorer, that is a big challenge that is generating me a lot of headache because it's a painful commandlet. But I will release soon a new version for this one because I am viewing how to, and at least the first test was running well. I'm writing the script again, but I am using on PowerShell 7 the capability to run parallel process. With parallel process, I am able to reduce a lot the time that takes to start getting all the information. But this is very important, and here you can see trainable classifiers, sensitive information types, and several other information that normally can be very helpful.
Bit of an overlap there, sorry, but Nikki, I was just going to say, Sebastian, but once you've got that second version, if you like, in play, do let us know, and we'll update the comms in the YouTube channel, and obviously share it with us on LinkedIn, and we'll share it from the channel as well, just to ensure people are aware of it and they've got it and they can utilize it.
Yeah, I will do that. Normally, you can follow my YouTube channel, but MPARR have a LinkedIn page. You can follow the LinkedIn page for MPARR, and normally all the updates I'm sharing through that channel.
Awesome. And I think that's a perfect way to end then. We will share, as we said, all the information from Sebastian today. We'll include his social media, his YouTube channels, and so on and so forth. Sebastian, this has been absolutely phenomenal. Thank you for giving up your time to come on.
Thanks to you to give me the chance to present this one and talk about MPARR.
You are more than welcome. Well, I think that's a good place to end, right, Nikki?
Yeah, no, thank you so much. And I can't believe how much effort you've put into this. This is not your job. You're doing this in your spare time and making this open source for everyone else. I think is really amazing.
Indeed.
Glad to share. And thanks again to invite me to this podcast. You
are most welcome. All right, everybody, then we'll see you next time. Thanks a lot for joining us. See you later now.
See you. Bye-bye.